Back to the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama. The ABC Bud Light Masters. We are in our semifinal match as Jason Queen is getting set to face Bobby Fleetwood. Earl, every player that has come out, the lower qualifying player is elected to start the match. What do you think the reason for that is?
Well, that's a good question, Mike, because you know, we have a commercial break after 3.5 frames. You'd think that they'd want to get 4 frames in, or apply pressure and sit on the bench and make the other guy make that tough shot under pressure. Maybe Jason is that confident, and maybe the other players have been that confident they feel they can make that great shot when they have to in the 10th frame.
Queen with an opening strike. 23 years old from Decatur, Illinois. Oh, there's bowling historian Joe Taylor. Manages the lanes at the White House. Was able to take the White House tour with him.
Not the one that waved, the guy behind the girl, right?
Yes, the one in the red.
All right.
Took his White House tour, saw the bowling lanes in the old executive office building. He's got 1,000 stories about bowling and people in the White House. It's good to see him here in Huntsville.
Was he there with Nixon when he was bowling?
Yes, he was. I got to see Richard Nixon's bowling ball.
Well, a tough start here for Mr. Fleetwood, the solid 7. And the players, if you are really watching closely at home, and we've got some great camera angles from behind the lanes for you, you'll watch them kind of parallel in. And what I mean by that, they'll move their feet slightly to the left as the lanes change. Not on this spare shot, I don't mean that, but on their strike ball, you'll see them moving their feet to the left and their target to the left also. So you'll see them gradually working their way closer to the 4th arrow from starting out between the 2nd and 3rd. They'll gradually work their way in, so they're playing almost near the 4th arrow. And they're moving the feet at the same number of boards they're moving their target. And the reason is they're following the oil line. They're chasing the oil line so that they can get good skid, get the ball down the lane quite easily with the oil in the middle of the lane, and then get the back end that they want to make the ball strike. Now watch this ball. It'll be somewhere between 3rd and 4th arrow if you watch really close. Right around the 16, 15 board. And the ball went high. Now, see, he's going to have to make that move that I was talking about. He's going to have to continue to move left with his feet and his target. And I think when Jason gets up, when there's a look at someone that's really important to all of us.
Roger Dalkin, the Assistant Executive Director for the American Bowling Congress.
And a nice guy.
Get to bowl with him in our office league.
Is he a good bowler?
Yes,
I know he
is.
I know he is.
Former World Cup winner.
Yeah, I've seen Roger throw it. He can roll it pretty good. Got a break here. Left only the 3-pin, a pretty easy spare. Just doesn't want to get careless.
Fleetwood with a couple of spares. There's a better look at Roger. Intensely scrutinizing the action. He told me his pick before the match began, and I'll maybe let you in on that later on.
Well, I like this young man's game right here. I like his ability to generate ball speed. You wouldn't think someone of such a diminutive stature could create this kind of ball speed, but watch where he's playing the lanes now. He's playing between the 3rd and 4th arrow, and here's a great look at him. There's another great camera angle. Now watch this. He'll be somewhere between that 3rd and 4th, and he's chasing the oil in even deeper than his opponent. And if they get a little bit wide to the right, it's going to go high, so they have to be careful. So you'll watch both of them start to move more and more to the middle. Here's a look at the style of Jason Queen from the side. Look how he uses his leg strength. This is where he gets the ball speed, that leg strength. He really generates it with his legs, creates the ball speed. He needs to get it down the lane. And this ball high again on the head pin, but that great carry that's been prevalent here all throughout the ABC tournament and the Masters again comes through, tripping the 4-7-10.
In talking with Jason, this is a dream come true for him. He's never bowled this well in this big of a tournament.
Well, he's young. He's only 23. He's got a lot of bowling left ahead of him, and this is going to really make a step forward in his career for him. Not just because of the money or anything like that, but it'll generate a tremendous amount of confidence in himself and his ability to play against the best players in the world.
Here's a look at the high games, a lot of 300s. Eric Forkel, whom you see in our championship match with a pair of 300s. Tita Semez also perfect. Also back in 1983, Tita threw a perfect game. His last Masters appearance in 1987. As we had said earlier, he'd been 10 years between Masters appearances.
Well, I think he liked it a lot this year. He might be back early next year.
How about you?
Yeah, possible. You never know. There's a good move there. I see that ball was around the 17 board, and you can see that the ball held the line longer. It was no problem keeping it in the pocket. So he's made the move that we talked about here, and there's another look at it. Watch between the third and fourth arrow. See that ball hit around the 17 board, and then he got it out down the lane. That's where it should be, and that's a perfect entry angle to get all 10 pins.
21-pin lead. Move to the fourth frame of our semifinal match. The winner of this match will face Eric Forkel for the Bud Light Masters Championship and $50,000.
You see the players standing out in front of the ball return a little bit there, and you're wondering what they're doing, folks. They're drying the perspiration off their hand. There's a blower comes up through the floor there on a brass pipe. It's kind of unique. You haven't seen this in your bowling center, I'm sure. Another great shot there. You can see where he's moved in now. He's lined up again.
More of our semifinal match coming up from Huntsville. Fourth frame semifinal match. Jason Queen, 3 from the first. Four strikes in a row, and Queen has been solid, Earl.
He has, and this young man, as I mentioned, I like his game. Here's a look at how he got to this point. 7 wins, 1 loss, qualifying, and he lost that late on in this thing. You can see he had a tie with Ron Papp, which means he had a 1-game roll-off, which he won.
He took out Bobby Fleetwood, Tita Semez, and Ron Papp.
Twice.
21-pin lead can make it 31 with another strike in the 5th.
See that pipe sticking up out of the floor? That's what I was talking about. That's the hand dryer. Here's a great look from the side of Jason Queen. We've had some outstanding camera angles today. You can see he's wearing 2 different shoes also, and there's a reason for that, because he gets a much more consistent slide out of that particular shoe than he does the one that matches it. Here's another look at it. Got this one a little wide of his target, but he held the line with a little different release, a little flip spin there that kept the ball in line. So the players bowling with confidence.
Bobby Fleetwood defeating Ron Papp. 246, 203 to get to this point. He is on 2 in a row and needs a 3rd.
Well, the soft 10, what the players call the soft 10. This ball just was a little too far down the lane before it made its move to the pocket, and just never really got back at a good entry angle, and that's why he left the 10 pin. Here you can see a spare ball cross lane, the weak wrist position, and he's had trouble with this spare. He missed it once, and he barely got it another time. Much better this time.
Semifinal match of the ABC Bud Light Masters. Jason Queen with a 32-pin lead, 5 strikes in a row from the first. Bobby Fleetwood needing to get something going here in the 6th.
Much better shot there. That ball flipped a little earlier. By that I mean it went into the roll a little earlier and held the pocket line very well, and that's the difference between that weak 10 and the solid strike. Well, Bob Fleetwood started that first game against Tita Semez with 9 in a row, and here he's getting a look at what it feels like from Jason Queen.
Making it only his first match play appearance in 3 ABC Masters. What's the difference in the 3-game style of match play as the normal 1-game match play on the PBA Tour?
You feel like there's not so much luck involved. You feel like in 1 game anybody can beat anyone, but in 3 games it takes some lane adjustments to make, and you've got to move as the lanes change and make your adaptions. I think it's a more skillful player tends to win a 3-game match than a 1-game match. You might say that kind of the cream comes to the top in a 3-game match. That's what we used to like about the Masters. You see the Trip 4 again when it was a 4-game format. But it's been shortened because of time problems that the ABC has had over the years with slow play. And I'm not embarrassed to say that the players have gotten slower and slower, unfortunately. And we would like to see a little faster play out of the players, but the concentration level, they feel they need this much time.
For Queen. We'll be back with the conclusion of our semifinal match right after this. Semifinal match, Bobby Fleetwood needing to cut the lead to 42 pins with a strike.
Well, he's running out of frames, Mike, and even at that, he still has room because
found the mark again.
Jason Queen, in watching him in his matches, tended to get into trouble later on in the match. For example, in the 9th and 10th frames, even though he did come through and win, he did tend to get in trouble. He tended to let his opponent back into the match. Whether he would do that in this one-game match remains to be seen, but in the 3-game matches, it was like he'd lose his concentration or something. His opponent would get back in, and then Jason would come right back and take the victory.
All right, Fleetwood up in the 8th with a chance to strike and cut the lead to 32. Put some pressure on Queen.
Well, Fleetwood still with an opportunity at 258, which is nothing to sneeze at. Right now, Queen going at a 250 pace, 250 plus. Well, that's how he started this match, with the solid 7, and that's going to be the second coffin nail, you might say, because that's going to be the one that does it for him. He had to have them all, no question, in my mind, his mind, and everybody in the building. You could tell by the crowd reaction that this is the one that did him in right here. What a great shot, and what a way to die.
And there's a look at our Pro-Am winner, Ron Creel, with Bill Chrisman and Barbara Chrisman.
What a beautiful trophy, too, from Anheuser-Busch. Isn't that pretty?
Pro-Am Monday night, picking up $1,500.
Well, for 8 in a row here, remember the $10,000 bonus for a 300 game if you're wearing the Contour Power Grip patch, but unfortunately Jason Queen is not wearing that patch.
But he gets 8 in a row.
Got a little fast with the feet there and lost his balance at the foul line. Fortunately, the ball was on line when it left his hand, so these are the things you can get away with the reactive resin bowling balls. With a rubber ball or a plastic ball, this ball might not have hit very hard, but with the reactive resin, it still goes into the heavy roll and carries out the 10 pin.
He knew he was in trouble. Got the break. Match pretty well in hand. Let's see if Queen can close it out in perfection.
Well, it's been a great tournament for Bob Fleetwood. He has, as you see him shaking his head as he checks the scoreboard, but he has to feel very happy with his performance. He was outstanding. First time on television, he came through very well. Started the tournament with 9 in a row. His opening match against a great champion of his own right, Tita Semez.
9 in a row for Queen. He'll go to the 10th with a shot at 300.
And now Fleetwood in the same position he put Semez in. Just let me get done, get out of the way, and see if Jason can get his 300. You too can be part of this, Masters. If you've got a 190 average or better, men or women, come on out here and get involved, because this is a great tournament. The match game tournament in bowling right here.
Fleetwood can still go off the sheet for 237.
Not a bad game, but he might lose by 63 pins with 237. That's the only problem. All the players are wearing a microphone, and we're hoping that one of them might say something entertaining.
You can hear Fleetwood expelling a bit of air, and perhaps the pressure of this match along with it.
Four-step approach, kind of a unique style. Very short steps for such a tall guy, and he hits the foul line very hard. By that I mean he really pushes into the foul line and pulls the ball through. Good style, but it takes some body strength to be successful with that style.
He's disappointed, but you can see the smile on his face. I finished 3rd in the Masters.
And a nice paycheck, Mike. 3rd place.
Thank you.
3rd place will net him $20,700.
Dave Brunette, manager of sports markets for Anheuser-Busch. Long been Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser has long been a staunch supporter of bowling, and we really appreciate that, especially here at the ABC Masters Championships.
All right, we'll set the stage here. Queen will face Eric Forkel in our championship match.
And Eric Forkel down there probably is saying, boy, I'm glad he's doing that this game and not the next one.
Jason Queen.
He's really got this crowd excited. Everybody, you can see the huge crowd here at the Von Braun Center, and I'll tell you, they're involved. A lot of smiles, a lot of people just really hoping to get a chance to see something maybe they've never seen before, a 300 game. Not only that, but on national television at the same time. And what a feather in the cap this would be for Jason Queen. 2 more strikes. Got fast with the feet, got the ball in the oil, and didn't get much on it, but it reacted and it carried the wall shot. Again, going back to how good the carry was here throughout the tournament. Get the ball in the pocket area, you've got a good chance to throw the strike, and that's what Jason Queen is doing. The most important thing, get the ball in the pocket. You've got a good chance for 300. One more ball.
Could shoot 300. Could cost him $10,000.
Well, it didn't cost him anything because he never had it, but it was an opportunity to get 10,000, that's for sure. From Don Heimbigner from Contour Power Grips. He was ready with the check. All right, for 300.
Perfection!
The best ball he threw in the 10th frame right there, the 12th one. It was a great shot.
Jason Queen with a 300 in the semifinals. And this crowd is on its feet.
And there's a hug from the one that counts the most.
I hope there won't be a letdown in the championship match, though.
Well, there's always that possibility, but right now he's on cloud 9, and you can see Jason is really thrilled. Perfect game, the 300 game.
We'll be back with our championship match as Jason Queen will face Eric Forkel right after this.